and welcome to the Dancer's Hideout, the place where you'll find all the tips and tricks to help you and your dancing. My name's Ian, I'm a professional teacher and former competitor with over 30 years of dance experience. If you've ever danced a Samba before, there's a very good chance that you've danced a Bota-Fogo figure. But did you know that there isn't just one type of Bota-Fogo?
No way.
In truth, there are actually a total of 6 types of Bota-Fogo actions that we can dance in the Samba. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the 4 most common types of Bota-Fogos that we can use.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We'll go through when to use them and how small changes can completely transform the way that you dance them.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
So to make things nice and clear, let's quickly go through all the different types of Bota-Fogos that we can go through. Like I said before, there are 6 types of Bota-Fogos that we can potentially use in the Samba. And these are the crisscross Bota-Fogo, also referred to as a normal type of Bota-Fogo, the travelling Bota-Fogo, the promenade to counter-promenade Bota-Fogo, and the Bota-Fogo using bachata rhythm. The other 2 types of Bota-Fogos that we can use are also the contra Bota-Fogo and the shadow Bota-Fogo. We can also dance a Bota-Fogo as well, just the first part for promenade Bota-Fogo, but don't worry, we will be covering the steps on that very soon.
Okay.
Now the reason why we're going to go through the first 4 Bota-Fogos I mentioned there instead of all of them is because when we dance the shadow Bota-Fogo and also the contra Bota-Fogo, these 2 types of figures, even though they are slightly different, use exactly the same forms of technique and application that the crisscross Bota-Fogo uses.
Are you serious?
So in theory, if you can dance the crisscross Bota-Fogo and understand how we use the dance technique involved with it, in theory, you'll be able to dance very easily the shadow Bota-Fogo and the contra Bota-Fogo.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
So to kick things off, let's look at that first Bota-Fogo, the crisscross Bota-Fogo. The crisscross Bota-Fogo, also just generally understood as the just the Bota-Fogo.
Can I just stop you right there for a second? When people do this, I don't really know what that means.
Is one of the first types of figures that we learn in the Samba very early on. It's very common because as the nature of Samba is a dance, the Bota-Fogo in and of itself is a progressive form of movement, and so we learn the crisscross Bota-Fogo figure as a pretty standard, bread and butter type of movement for Samba. Let's have a look at the steps.
Finally!
Dancing the crisscross Bota-Fogo as a leader, you can see that the leader's weight is on the right foot. We take the first step with the leader's left foot, travelling forward on a diagonal alignment. We then place the right foot to the side on the ball of foot and replace the weight back onto the left foot in the opposite direction on the diagonal onto the left foot. Carrying on, the leader dances forward with the right foot on the diagonal alignment, placing the left foot on the ball of foot and then switching the direction once again back to the original diagonal alignment with the right foot. Now let's look at the lady's steps. For the lady's steps, the lady is going to start with her weight on the left foot, opposite to what the leader does. She's going to step forward on the opposite diagonal alignment in reference to the leader using her right foot. From there, she's going to then place her left foot to the side on the ball of the foot. She's then going to replace the weight back onto the right foot facing the new diagonal alignment. From here, she's going to carry on straight forward with the left foot on that same diagonal alignment, placing the right foot to the side with the ball of foot and replacing the weight back onto the left foot on the new diagonal alignment that she originally started with. So in a roundabout kind of way, the leader and lady are dancing opposite versions of their steps when they're dancing the crisscross Bota-Fogo. As the name implies, they're crisscrossing position with one another as they're dancing their Bota-Fogo steps.
Obvious.
The leader will start here, the lady will start here, they'll dance their first set of Bota-Fogo, like I mentioned in the example, on the diagonal alignments. and they'll pass one another.
88 miles per hour!
When they then come back again on the second part of the Bota-Fogo action, they're going to cross once again back over again. And so if they were to repeat this movement going down the floor, they would create this crisscross pattern that you would probably see from like a bird's eye view.
That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
The crisscross Bota-Fogo footwork is very important. As you heard me mention in the example, we're using diagonal alignments to help progress down the floor. We did a Bitesize Sunday episode on alignments. Be sure to check out that video so that you're a little bit more up to speed with what we mean by a progressive type of alignment. However, carrying on, when you are dancing the crisscross Bota-Fogo, you are dancing the first step on the diagonal. The second step is a sideward placing step that's danced underneath the shoulder. So the sideways step tends to be danced as a big movement to the side. We don't want to do this because otherwise we're not going to have the correct timing that's associated with the step. When we dance the 3 steps for a Bota-Fogo, forward, side, replace, as you saw me do on the video, the side step is a very small amount of time. It's a quarter of a beat. And so it's because it's such a small amount of time, we can't do a big step. So when we take that side step, it's underneath the shoulder so that we can replace the weight onto the other foot to head on to the next diagonal alignment to make it a lot easier, okay?
Okay.
The second thing is that because we're switching alignments when we're dancing this, we're going to dance the first step on one diagonal, use the side step to square up to face down the room, and then we're going to replace the weight into the new direction, like this. The final technical point that relates to the footwork is that when you are dancing this, the footwork ideally should be ball flat, ball, ball flat when you're taking the steps. The second Bota-Fogo that we come into contact with is the traveling Bota-Fogo. This one is slightly different compared to our crisscross Bota-Fogo in the sense that the leader is doing exactly the same step pattern that you saw in the previous example for the crisscross Bota-Fogo.
Nice.
The lady, however, is dancing a backward version of that.
I think you have that the wrong way around.
So where in the crisscross Bota-Fogo, both leader and lady were dancing forward, side, replace. Forward, side, replace. In the traveling Bota-Fogo, the leader is still dancing that same pattern, but the lady is dancing the opposite because she's going to be moving backwards in a closed hold position. Dancing into the traveling Bota-Fogo, the leader will dance exactly the same type of movement as he did for the crisscross Bota-Fogo. So he's going to dance, instead using his right foot this time, he's going to dance forward on his right foot on the diagonal alignment, to the side with the left foot, noticing the ball of the footwork that we mentioned before. He's then going to replace his weight back onto the right foot on the new diagonal alignment. He's then going to step forward on his left foot on that same diagonal alignment, place his right foot to the side, and replace his weight back onto the left foot on the original diagonal alignment. The lady here will be dancing the opposite series of steps, not only in terms of the opposite foot, but also in the opposite direction. She's going to step backwards on her left foot on the diagonal alignment, place her right foot to the side, and replace the weight back onto the left foot facing the new diagonal alignment. She's then going to move backwards with the right foot on the same diagonal alignment, place her left foot to the side, and then finish backwards on the right foot facing the new opposite diagonal alignment.
Hi there, Editing Ian here. As a quick side point, the leader can also add an extra Bota-Fogo, starting with his left foot travelling forwards, and the lady can move backwards with an extra Bota-Fogo, starting with the right foot.
All right!
Now, as you heard when I was giving that explanation, I used the term facing for the lady's alignment. It's technically not correct.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Because she is actually moving backwards. So she's actually backing a diagonal alignment, not facing it. But I use the term facing so that you can identify as a lady dancer where you're actually looking from a visual perspective. So using the facing alignment that you heard me call out in the example is more of a teaching method to help give you a clarity about where you're looking when you're dancing the movement. The third type of Bota-Fogo movement that we're going to cover in today's video is the promenade to counter promenade Bota-Fogo. As I mentioned before, the option of dancing just the promenade Bota-Fogo is also an illustrated figure in and of itself.
You serious?
I.e., you're just going to dance the Bota-Fogo that changes you to promenade, and that's it.
Boring!
For the promenade to counter promenade Bota-Fogo for the leader, we're going to have the leader step forward with the left foot facing the wall. He then places his right foot to the side using the ball of foot technique that we talked about already, and replaces onto the left foot facing down the floor, also referred to as facing line of dance. He then steps forward on the right foot down the floor, places his left foot to the side to change the direction, and replaces onto the right foot to face the opposite direction against the line of dance. He then continues forward on the left foot down the floor against the line of dance, places the right foot to the side to change the direction again, and then replaces the weight back onto the left foot to once again finish facing down the floor on the left foot. For the lady, she's going to step backwards on the right foot, backing the wall. She places the left foot to the side using the same ball of foot technique that we've already talked about. She then replaces the weight back onto the right foot facing down the floor, matching the leader's line of dance alignment. She then steps forward on the left foot in this position, places the right foot to the side to change the direction, and replaces the weight back onto the left foot to complete the change into the opposite direction facing against line of dance. She then steps forward on the right foot against the line of dance, places the left foot to the side, turning the direction, and finishes with her weight back onto the right foot facing down the floor with the leader. So you can see when the couple is dancing the promenade to counter promenade Bota-Fogo, they're switching the direction with one another. Technically speaking, although this is not exactly true, the contra Bota-Fogo uses this aspect. It's just one partner is dancing the counter promenade direction and one partner is dancing the promenade direction. So you have a crisscross pattern, but nobody's going anywhere because their intention is to turn when they're dancing it. So when we are doing the changes, it's making sure that the hold and the couple connection is very, very clear. We can let go of the leader's left hand, lady's right hand when we switch to the promenade position. If we were here, and I'm going to do the example so you can see, I'm dancing with the lady doing it as a leader, I would go 1 and 2 and switch the direction here, letting go of my left hand and lady's right hand, then still holding onto the lady's back here, lady's arm is around the shoulder. When we then do the change, da, 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 I've switched the hand to the opposite side, so my hand is now around the lady's back using my left hand, her right hand is across my shoulder, I've let go of this hand. We then do the same thing and switch it back again, da, da, da. If I was going to keep going, I would just keep switching the hand. Yeah?
Wrong.
Pretty easy, pretty easy.
You're goddamn right.
As long as we're keeping the technique of the way that we're taking the step pattern itself. Before we go into our final Bota-Fogo, I just wanted to reference the shadow Bota-Fogo that I mentioned earlier on, because I already mentioned about the promenade Bota-Fogo as a figure itself, as well as also the contra Bota-Fogo as well, you know, where we're switching the direction but turning rather than progressing, yeah?
Okay.
The shadow Bota-Fogo uses exactly the same principles and technique that the crisscross Bota-Fogo does. However, the term shadow Bota-Fogo comes from the fact that both leader and lady are doing exactly the same step together in exactly the same direction. So as a leader, I would be here holding my lady's right hand with my left hand either on the shoulder or on the waist, depending on how friendly you are with one another. And if I'm dancing the step pattern coming towards you here, I would dance forward, side, replace, forward, side, replace, like this. If I'm dancing the lady steps, and I'm here,
she's the one that told me to be creative. So.
Placing both hands, by the way, this can be styled however you like, but if I'm just placing, leader's connecting my left hand to his right hand, okay? My right hand can do whatever, but let's say I'm just placing it out to the side for now, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna do the same step as my leader. So I'm here in shadow position and we're gonna step on diagonal. Forward, side to replace, forward, side to replace. And I am dancing exactly the same pattern as the leader. So this is what the difference is between the shadow Bota-Fogo and like the other ones that we've talked about so far.
Nice.
So now we come to the Bota-Fogo using bachata rhythm. This one is very technical, it's very advanced as well, so don't worry if you're trying to sort of follow along here and this one sort of stumps you a little bit.
I think you have that the wrong way around.
It's an advanced movement, and it's an advanced movement for a reason.
Julian!
But I wanted to include it because it's important to understand the possibilities that we have with this figure.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
When we're dancing the Bota-Fogo with the bachata rhythm, the difference here is syncopation.
Hold on to your butt.
Dancing the Bota-Fogo using bachata rhythm, the leader will close his left foot to his right foot on the ball of foot with the timing A. He'll then place the right foot to the side using the count 1 on the ball of foot and replace the weight back onto the left foot on the ball of foot with the count and. He's then going to close the right foot to the left foot using once again the count A remaining on the ball of foot. Place the left foot to the side using the ball of foot on count 2 and replace the weight back onto the right foot for the and count using the ball of foot. Dancing this faster, this is A1 and A2 and A1 and A2 and A1 and A2 and A. Dancing the Bota-Fogo using batucada rhythm for the lady, she's going to close her right foot to her left foot using the ball of foot footwork. She's going to place her left foot to the side using the count 1 on the ball of foot. She's then going to replace the weight back onto the right foot using the ball of foot footwork for the count and. She's then going to close the left foot to the right foot on count A on the ball of foot. Place her right foot to the side on count 2 on the ball of foot and replace the weight back onto the left foot for the count and using once again the ball of foot. So as you can see there, the step pattern, relatively speaking, is not complicated. What makes this complicated is the technique involved, the rhythm aspect, and then also speed. Hopefully that's made a lot of sense for you today. If you've enjoyed today's video, be sure to give us a like. We'll really appreciate it, of course. If you want to see more from the Dancers Hideout, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure that you ding the bell icon so that you can stay notified whenever we're putting out new videos or content. And be sure to drop down in the comment section down which one of the Bota-Fogo actions did we cover today that you personally enjoyed the most. Are you finding difficulty with any of them yourself? Let me hear about it. In the meantime, my name's Ian, this here is the Dancers Hideout, and it's been a pleasure.